now listening to the Good Bad Advice Podcast with Stephanie and Chase.
Hello. Welcome. We're back again. Guys, we've missed you. This is the Good Bad Advice Podcast.
We're sorry.
We're your hosts. We're your sorry hosts.
Sorry.
My name's Chase, and I'm a sorry host. Who are you?
My name's Stephanie, and I'm a sorry host.
We're the sorry hosts. Guys, we can't get in. We've decided that we're not going to share some of the personal stuff that both of us are navigating. We're not going to share some of it, but you should just know that it has not been an easy few weeks.
We've been going through it.
Yes, and for us to
going through it enough to not dress up for Halloween.
So we had so many amazing ideas.
Yeah, so many.
We were materializing if we could be different emotions. We should be like
From
scary
Inside Out
words
2.
from Inside Out 2, whether or not we should go as Elphaba and Galinda, whether or not we should we had costumes on deck. And then Halloween said, I'm so sorry, you've got plans? Spread your legs, kick right to the nuts. Like
the whole month of October was like that. So by the time that we were going to record the Halloween episode, we were just considering showing up with a sign around our neck that said trauma.
Yeah, and depression.
And trauma dumping.
Yeah.
Like one of us was going to be a trash can and one of us was going to be
you want to talk about some spooky stuff? Antidepressants. Like that's where we were at, and we were out of town. Some of the stuff we were navigating took us out of town, and so our cycles just did not align. We were not at girls' camp, and
our
so
moon sign, our
rising
the
star,
full moon.
the sun dipper.
Please take all of our excuses in stride.
Yes, please. If you
in
could just
honor-
if you're upset, leave us a comment. We could use the engagement. We have not posted. We don't have social cuts. We have failed you, but we're back on. November is our month.
And
We've
I
recalibrated.
would say, like, in honor of the season, just give us a little bit of Christ-like grace.
Yeah, just a little.
Just think of the baby
thankfulness.
Jesus, okay?
Maybe Jesus, and think of Thanksgiving. And we were resurrecting right before we started. Then I said, let's just put this on the pod. We have our Christmas tree from last year that Steph wanted to put out, and I said no because it's not after Thanksgiving. Here's what we need. If you're a Christmas is now person, you do an emoji of a Christmas tree.
No, listen.
No, I have a plan.
Okay.
They do an emoji of a Christmas tree on our episode caption. If you're a wait for Thanksgiving, do the turkey. Let's create in our comments the battle of the Christmas tree or the turkey.
Okay, here's the thing though. Holiday season starts November 1st.
When you say holiday, what holiday are you referencing?
Holiday as in we're
Capital
not supposed to say
H?
Christmas anymore.
So you really say Christmas.
No, it's because I work in HR, so I have to say holiday whenever I talk about Christmas. So I'm PR'd. No, Christmas season starts November 1st.
That's a lie.
Then listen to me.
I know. Then we go on a detour for Thanksgiving.
Is the week of Thanksgiving, and I keep some turkeys out through my holiday decor. Then it is holly jolly
mother effing Christmas.
I thought about dropping an F-bomb for holly jolly Christmas. From Black Friday through January 1st. Period.
January 31st?
January 1st.
Oh, January 1st. I'm with you on Black Friday to January 1st. That is for sure Christmas. And I'll say it because I ain't in HR. However, I think why I love the build up to Thanksgiving is I can't when it is Christmas season, I am just spending money in the name of the holiday as though Christ is checking my credit card receipt, and if I've celebrated to a certain level, like platinum status, heaven is knocking on my door.
That's true.
Like that's what I equivalent to. So I can't equate to. So I can't start that in November because Papa bought a house this year, and so we're already like
being house poor. That's
so we're definitely not in a place I cannot afford to do that. Now, with that said, I think part of the reason why also just because of Steven, my Christmas season really doesn't start until right after Thanksgiving because that's when Steven starts the Christmas tour. And so it is like this build up, and the tour has historically been a challenge for us just because he's gone so much. And it was at one point he was doing multiple artists. And so he was only home for like 2 days in 6 weeks. It was nuts. And so that's a little trauma for me. Now we love it. Now we've really figured out how to make Christmas like slay. And I love being with him when I can on tour. And I love his music. His Christmas music is fire. But I think I kind of like, I can't have that in November. We can only have that window of Christmas tour time after Thanksgiving until Christmas. So we'll just see it differently, but let's see what our fans...
I'm unhappy for you.
Do you have a Christmas tree up? Did you put your tree up yet?
Oh, it's upstairs. I haven't like assembled yet,
Yeah.
but
Are
it
you
is
gonna
on the
do?
main
You're
floor.
gonna do bows again on the tree?
Oh yeah.
I love that. Did you see? People were. I watched on TikTok, like anthropology dupes for the bows, like bow garlands and bow tree things.
I literally made all of my own bows.
I
Bought
know
all
that'd
of
be
the
really
ribbon.
fun. Oh, you know what? We also, you know how bad October was for us. Stephanie and I had planned. And I bought all the stuff. I bought stuff to do. We had mini cauldrons
It was rough.
and skeletons. And I bought all the wax so that we can make our own candles of like the skeleton taking a hot bath or in the hot tub of the cauldron. We'd planned. I got all the materials and we just never did it.
Never did it.
So
You guys,
October was just a rough time, but we're really excited for November.
Yeah.
3 snaps for November. Boom, boom, boom. Like we're here for it. But Halloween was actually really fun.
Yeah, it was really
I
fun.
woke up early to do put all the skeletons on, and we posted it on our story. I posted that.
Yeah.
So I hung all the skeletons, and we had almost 400 kids that ended up coming.
Yeah.
Because we ran out of candy. That we were just giving Pez.
Oh, ours was
nuts.
wild. At one point, I'm like, Traven, you have to run to the store. Like, I'm handing out Ferrero Rocher candies one at a time.
Yeah.
Like,
She's just doing a single Tootsie Roll.
No, it was wild.
What
also,
are
do you let kids, when you hold out the bowl, do you let them pick their own candy?
Okay,
or
so
do you handful?
that's what was so fun. So we had a bunch of friends over and family.
There's a lot of
over.
trick-or-treating dynamics.
Yes, no, I have to tell you. So Steven's brother and his husband are here, and his brother, they live here now.
Yeah.
And his brother's husband's from Spain, and this is like his first real Halloween. They came in costume, like the nicest people. They were really, really fun. And then our neighbors, Cassie and Troy and Johnny, they were all Lightning McQueen characters. Johnny is the absolute cutest kid in the whole world.
Yeah.
Literally cuter than my kids. Sorry, Charlotte and Oliver. Not now, Charlotte and Oliver, you guys are better, but you know what I mean. But he's just a very cute little kid.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea, Trav, and their kids were over, except Ava. We missed you, Ava. And so we were rotating because we had so many people knocking on the door. So everybody had kind of a different strategy, right? Chelsea, Steven, and I were just kind of like, you could take it. We didn't really care.
Yeah.
Steven's brother was holding it, and he was giving it one at a time to people. But he was like, if they don't say trick or treat, they are not getting a candy. So he'd open the door and he'd be like, well, what do we say? And we're all like, Brandel, you didn't even buy the candy. Like, just give him the candy.
Give him the candy.
And then Dario, the brother-in-law, was the cutest because he was so excited. So he'd open the door, Happy Halloween. Oh, good. Oh, look at you, a policeman. Like, straight up out of the movies was his experience. And then the winner, though, was Johnny, the little 2-year-old boy, because he wanted, I think, to give candy more than trick or treat. And so he would open the door, hi, trick or treat, and then help give the candy. So that we had a lot of different modalities of giving the candy. I personally subscribe to the idea, like, I don't really care. If you're going to reach in and take like 30, I don't really care. Like, if whatever's creating that in you,
it did not even
fine.
occur to me. So like, I was grabbing handfuls and like giving them to kids, which I'm like, if you get more than one from me, like, you're welcome.
Right.
But like, it did not occur to me to let kids reach in and grab their own until literally the next day. I was like, oh, because I saw some sheet that was like, let kids take their time to pick their candy. And I was like,
yeah, there was
what
a
do you
lot of
mean?
good advice. I'm sad that we didn't get to talk about this, but this will be for next year. And a bunch of people had posted a series of videos, a kind of a collection of videos of people saying, like, look, if there are teens that you're like, you're too old to be trick-or-treating.
So many teenagers.
And they said, let them trick-or-treat.
Yes.
It's better than them doing a whole host of other things. They're wanting to
my
be
gosh.
kids.
We have talked about this too.
Yeah,
like just
I
having
love it.
teenage girls. We're like, let them be I'm like, Bailey could trick or treat for 3 more years, and I would be like, go off, queen.
Yes, agreed.
Like as long as they're dressed up, like be in the spirit of it. Don't be being a jerk to other little kids.
Yeah, like if you're gonna be those kids in Hocus Pocus, the mean ones, okay, yeah, I'm gonna punch you in the throat.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna just be like, hey, I just kind of want to, like, I want to go out. Like Charlotte was out there with her younger sisters, and that was a really big deal for her. And Oliver went with his friends. They were, when you kind of realize, like, I think my kids are cooler than me. Oh, God, they're probably listening. Anyway, not my kids, but in theory,
Yeah,
kids
not my own kids.
Yeah, because then Oliver's like, just me and my friends, like me and my bro friends are going as monkeys and bananas, just like a whole crew of us. And I was like, I never had a crew. And if I had a crew, we would have not been cool enough to be like monkeys and bananas. Like, but apparently there was a whole shtick out there. And then Charlotte and her friends went as Disney character onesies, the onesies. So she was Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. And she had to give a full English presentation. And she's like, yeah, I just did it in my Lilo Stitch, in my Stitch costume. Funny. Like, they have swag. Yeah. And I think I have swag now, but I did not growing up. Like, I was not the cool. I mean, I like ran for student government, like because I wanted to make posters. Like, I was not because everyone was like, Chase. Although we do. Let's move to Sabrina Carpenter, but finish telling us our thing because I just had this flashback to last night. When I joke, so we went to Sabrina Carpenter last night. Gosh.
You guys, we should have had the podcast going.
We should have been street week. We
literal were comedy goddesses, and
Pura had a suite, and so we were in the suite. We were on the front row next to the glass.
Yeah,
we were laughing so hard, and the opening act, Declan McKenna, we did not know anything about him. Apparently, and he's very talented. We're not taking away from that, whatever. But we didn't understand anything, and I said, "Can you imagine, Stephanie, if I just brought my trumpet out?" And I began to imagine it like when I was running for student government, Mambo number 5. And when I tell you, Stephanie, I had a headache.
No,
I had a hard time sleeping last night because I was laughing so hard. I deprived my brain of so much oxygen. I could have had like I have a brain bleed.
Yeah, probably.
Someone needs to take me to the doctor.
No, Us in the Wild is truly like, I know we're funny here, but Us in the Wild, like, a peak.
Yeah, like
comedy.
There's no camera. Like
Peak
some people are
silly,
like, "Oh,
unserious.
are you guys just like turning it on for the pod?" I'm like, I think we actually dial it down.
Yeah.
Like we are like, because we have like a structure and a format. We're kind of
run a bit on the podcast like we do in real life.
Oh, the bit like last night we're driving. I'm driving Stephanie home, and we pull into the parking lot, and I was kind of whipping around. Her car was kind of. Totally like single white femaling, and then back like a weird parking lot. It's like dark. There's like a single light shining down on like a guy with like a knife, and I like pull in, and Stephanie just starts laughing, and I wasn't super close to her car. Oh, but she's like, "Can you imagine if you just like plowed into my car?" And then we do this whole bit where I'm like, and then I just back up, and then I just like hit the under like, "Hey, see ya." Stephanie doesn't get fazed by it. Then she's like, "Then can you imagine if it's not my car?" And I'm like hitting it, and then we're just like, "Oh, sorry, I'm parked over there," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, great." She gets in my car, and then I fake that I hit that car. Like we were riffing 10:30 at night after just doing the Sabrina Carpenter concert, and we were laughing so hard.
Oh my gosh.
But
there was
Sabrina
also like a plexiglass in between our suite and the suite next to us, and Chase was sitting against the plexiglass. And like the whole night we were making bits about like him trying to communicate with the people on the other side of the plexiglass.
You didn't understand were like moms and their teenage daughters. And I mean like 13, 12-year-old daughters.
And him like writing messages on his phone and like putting it against the plexiglass.
And they had Chick-fil-A, and I was like tapping, being like, "Hey, gotta finish that. You got a Chick-fil-A sauce? Hey, got a little Chick-fil-A sauce. Polynesian's great too." Instead, mind you. And here's the other thing I'm going to say about the Pura girlies.
Yeah.
They did not come to play.
No,
they are in baby doll dresses, platform
dressed,
heels, the stockings. Like everyone is dressed to the nines. And then cut to Stephanie and I on the front, on the left, cackling.
Both in like jeans and a t-shirt.
No one is listening to us. Yeah, literally
with
just
a sucker in our mouths, just like living
our life, to the point that my friend Mallory, if you're listening, hi, she's like writes, and it's like she calls me and she's like, "Hey, look down." We were such a spectacle that she had clearly it was like concerning enough that she saw us and then called to be like, "I could see you."
Here's the thing. Traven told me that his mission president used to say this, and I'm like, this is me and Chase. Like, I dare you to have more fun than me and Chase.
Yeah.
Like, not even inebriated. Like,
no,
we
never been.
We will have so much fun in a space that everybody else could be hating.
And like, this isn't like, you guys, like, we're not a member, like, we're not Dare. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not like, you guys can have fun without drugs. Like, that's not, like, we're not doing a bit like that. We're just saying, typically people in their 30s, which we both are.
Yeah. Some of us a little bit closer
No,
to leaving.
we're both in their 30s, fact. And so, Miss Paige, are you in your 30s?
Yeah.
Ma'am? Okay,
30,
perfect.
recently,
Well,
actually.
ma'am, all right. I don't know. I didn't ask when. I just said if you're in it. Anyways, this isn't like we're trying to be like, and we're not even drunk. It's just most people when they're in their 30s, like, in order to have a lot of fun, a lot of people, like, need to do that. Or the fun is, like, white people
No,
fun.
the most
you know
fun
what I mean?
need
Like,
is an ibuprofen.
She's like, you know what I just took? 200 milligrams of Advil. What? You crazy dog. 4
ibuprofen. We're running 1,000 mgs right now.
Yeah, totally.
Because my
She's like,
back is hurting,
did
but
it
I'm
with
gonna
the Coke
have fun.
Chaser, Coca-Cola.
Coke with lime and 1,000 mgs of ibuprofen.
We had also a fun dinner at
Wait,
great
that was
place.
so good.
Yes, it's called
Studio.
Studio.
It's a bar downtown, so bring your ID, but they had amazing pizza.
But it was just, basically it's like a pizza place. They have gluten-free options as well. Vegan
was
options. It was great. The wings were phenomenal.
I told
we were
Bailey.
so stuffed, but the pizza was so good when we came home. I'm not eating
I
late
had a
at night.
slice
I had a
before.
slice before bed too. I was like, that was a really good
I
pizza.
told Bailey, I'm like, oh, I went and got pizza with Chase tonight. She goes, you got pizza without me? And I said, well, it was more like adult pizza. Like mine had like corn on it. And she was like, you might as well add pineapple, you sicko. And I was
Bailey
like,
for the win.
yeah, she's so funny. Oh my gosh. Comedic.
That's how we know we're doing it, is we're raising a generation
Funny
that's
children.
equally funny, if not funnier at times, because Oliver and Charlotte both can slap. We were in Connecticut last weekend. With Steven and I flew out, and we were dealing with some stuff, and we did have a really, really, really fun time. Although I do have a bone to pick with Marriott.
Marriott is
They
kind of been on my crap
advertised.
list.
Yeah, I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
They advertised a family pool, right? It says family pool. The picture they showed looks like a pretty decent sized pool. When we get there, I could touch, no lie, both sides of the pool with my hands at one side. And it was maybe 3 lengths down. When they said family pool, they meant one family.
Yeah.
Because on Friday night, we were like, we'll go swimming.
They meant small, single household.
Not Utah Mormon family either.
No.
They're saying max 2 kids.
Yeah.
So other than that, but then we also went to the Pez Museum Factory.
Oh, fun.
Because Steven had never been there, and that's one of my favorite places to go. We just had a really, really good time.
Mm-hmm.
The Connecticut leaves. The fall in New England is just carrot everything else.
Oh,
so
amazing.
gorgeous. But hanging out with them, I just was like, man, my kids are super cool. Just like so
After the
cool.
concert, I went and hung out with Bailey in her room because I could tell she wasn't asleep. And Traven was playing a video game with his brothers. And we just sat and talked in there for an hour. I'm like, kids are so cool.
Yeah.
Like,
well, cool kids are cool. Lame kids are lame.
Lame.
If you're listening,
that's true.
here's our advice. Raise cool kids. And we say cool, we don't mean like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like.
It's what's like so crazy though. And this has definitely taken time, especially as like a stepmom. When you like really can devote single attention time to a child, like you really learn so much about them and like have such a different appreciation for them. And like, this is not a parent shame at all, but it's like, you know, half the time when your child is talking to you, you have a phone or you're distracted or you're watching something or you're doing a task that like you can't be focused on your child in the middle of unloading a dishwasher. But like when you can stop and give them that like time that they deserve, the way that they give that back to you in fold is like just so beautiful.
Yeah. That's so like, that is, parenting is the coolest thing I've gotten to do, the most challenging, but also like the coolest, the most rewarding for sure.
Ugh. Anyway.
Okay, so we have some GBs because we've got to catch
and
up.
I only have like one major one.
Yeah, so I'm taking
I'll
the
dive
other
into yours
5
more.
slots because I've been
so my main one, and it's kind of like a pair. So I read Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. Anne Patchett turning out to be one of my favorite authors of all time.
Okay.
I think her other book, These Precious Days, might be my top book of the year. It's exceptional and phenomenal. You must listen to the audiobook of Tom Lake. Even if you're not an audiobook person, you have to listen to the audiobook because Meryl Streep narrates it.
Whoa,
and
okay.
It is absolutely exceptional. It is basically this woman who was an actress is telling her story of like after she retired and why she didn't pursue acting. So you really feel like it's Meryl Streep's story. It is so good. And it is really, it's not like peak, climax, crazy story. It's just like a masterclass in storytelling. It is phenomenal. I also read her other book right after, The Dutch House, and that one is narrated by Tom Hanks. I wouldn't say it's as good, but Tom Hanks is absolutely phenomenal reading it. So if you want to get into audiobooks, start with Tom Lake by Anne Patchett.
And I
read by
love
Meryl Streep.
the audiobooks that are having actors, like voice actors, but actors that are reading them, which I kind of like because I've done so many David Baldacci and Daniel Steele, like those kind of books. It's a very similar tone for the narrator. To mix it up, I think would be a solid get.
No, it was phenomenal.
I love.
And then all my like other content is mostly like I've been catching up on Housewives, and I don't really feel like the need to.
Yes, we talked about Housewives last night so much that we probably should.
Yeah, and like they're good.
Take a break.
I don't know if you're interested in them.
Okay. It's not showing up in here, so I'm gonna have to do it here. All right. I watched a couple of movies on Netflix. I watched The Estate with Catherine Turner, and you would recognize a bunch of the actors.
Yeah.
Lame. That's kind of my bad.
Okay.
That's my only real bad thus far. I did watch Woman of the Hour. Anna Kendrick directs her directorial debut, and then she is the woman who's on a dating show and gets paired with a serial killer.
Did you know she donated the proceeds?
Oh, that makes me love her. It makes me love the show
She
even
felt
more.
like sick, profiting off of
story.
this tragedy. So she donated like $10 million of the proceeds.
Wow. First off.
To a women's charity.
Well, and I will say it was really, really, really well done.
Yeah.
Her storytelling, I don't know if she also wrote it. I just think she directed it. But her directing was sensational. I think she plays, I don't know how close she was. So it's hard for me to know, like, oh, hey, did she nail the contestant? Because the contestant ended up going kind of into obscurity. And I didn't know who the serial killer was. Yeah. But the acting was phenomenal. Really, really, really impressive. Yeah. I was really impressed.
Amazing.
Okay, Lincoln Lawyer on season 3 dropped on Netflix as well.
Okay.
All 3 seasons were great. This 3rd season, though, was, to me, the best so far. Really, really, really good acting. That is on Netflix. House of Villains, the new season.
Oh, okay.
Teresa, Larsa, Candy Muse, New York.
Yeah.
Richard Hatch, Jesse from...
Candy Muse is so funny.
Candy Muse, and like when I say they are making, if you just need like, what's total trash TV I could watch when the kids are gone, or like as you're gearing up for the holiday season and you're like, I mean, you're going to be baking and you just want to put in your headphones and just like escape. Yeah. House of Villains is excellent TV. It's satirical. Which like satirical reality TV, yeah. Joel McHale does an excellent job as the host because he kind of like
funny.
Pokes fun at like you're all here because Traders isn't casting right now, which Traders funny. Is going to come back January 9th. Alan Cummings announced this week the new season, which January means 9th. UK Traders has to be coming out like in a week or two because they do the entire.
This is the season with Bob the Drag Queen, right?
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
Yeah, where this is supposed to be a really impressive season. So I'm loving House of Villains. It's actually great. High Potential was the big hit with my kids this summer, or this past trip. They binged all of it, and then it was really fun. Charlotte was home from school on Wednesday, feeling sick, and so she was watching the episode, and then we were talking about it.
What is High Potential?
High Potential is Elizabeth. I think her name is Elizabeth Olsen, but maybe it's something else. You would recognize her. She's the daughter in Hacks. She's in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Okay. She was in The Mick. She was the lead in The Mick.
Caitlin is the one who's
Caitlin Olsen.
Witch. Yeah, okay.
Caitlin Olsen, not Elizabeth. And she is a cleaner at a police station, but she has like a really, really high IQ.
Oh,
and
I know
then
exactly
she ends up joining the police force.
Kid appropriate?
Super kid appropriate.
Wow, really? Okay.
In that there's I mean, obviously when they're kind of reenacting some of the murder scenes or some of like the more seedy scenes, it's a reenactment, so it doesn't feel as intense because it's her brain processing, could it have been this? And so like one of my favorite little bits, which the kids and I watched a couple of times, was, you know, she had said, oh, I bet he was down at the bar with some blonde bimbo. And then the bartender's like, everything's right, except it was a brunette bimbo. Well, it shows like a blonde girl, like in the reenactment, and then it shows a brunette girl that comes up and shoves her. And then she's like, oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm brunette, whatever. Like that's sort of like a little bit of a wink. So even in the reenactments, it's not super heavy. Yeah. And it's just really good heart. Really good heart. So I'm loving that. I'm just about finished with the Brandi Carlile memoir. I have like 28 minutes left, but I'm just savoring it because I'm so sad. Like I was listening at 1.5 speed while I was at the gym. And now that it's like coming to an end, I just find her to be enigmatic, but really, really, really cool. And I love like she's also a huge name, like in a lot of ways. Like she's an Elton John, like her kind of ring of influence includes like Elton John, Joni Mitchell, Shaka Khan, like the big artists that just like see her artistry on our close, and I love her. I think she's wonderful. And then my new favorite TV show is called Found. They're doing the second season now. It was on Peacock is how I'm watching it. I don't know. I think it's an NBC show. Where basically finding missing persons, typically, or at least the 2 episodes I've seen, have been people of color who are disproportionately returned, and like, you know, and I sometimes get a little like eye rolly when I feel a little like being spoon fed, and when I say spoon fed, I mean like violently spoon shoved into my mouth of like agendas or you know, whatever. And there's definitely like
a little bit of that.
Hints of that, but it's completely palatable, and it's done really, to me, like it's not done in a way that's
done in a realistic way that's like, hey, these are just the
facts, and so what do we do about them? And we wouldn't need to have these sort of like vigilante organizations that are in the private sector having to find people if the police took missing persons, particularly persons of the same of the no matter nationality or background or age, whatever. Anyways, I've had some very good content that we've been doing.
We didn't even go over the Sabrina Carpenter concert.
No, let's do it.
Was so incredible. The
10 out of 10. Give me 14 of them.
The choreography, the set,
and I looked up the choreographer. It's sensational. So the whole vibe is 1960s coded. Baby doll dresses, the sort of like bouffants, the oversized suits a little bit for the men. Like 60s, not 70s, but not 50. Like it's perfectly timed with a modern, like not even like a wink, like a modern like wink, shoulder shrug, and like shimmy. Like
think very much like the old Bejeweled or Bewitched show.
Yes, that it's very coded in that way.
It's also very like tongue in cheek. It's very like
the Jetsons and like and the person is it's all meant to be like Sabrina Carpenter TV. So they have credits rolling, and then they have an announcer. They have commercials.
They have like old fashioned cameras, like
and they
have
the
storytelling.
And she's in her house, and so there's a bedroom. They do an entire like kind of bit with the bedroom. Then in the bathroom, she sings an entire song on the toilet, but talking about like in
and
that
also
place.
That song to sing like while you're like contemplating in the bathroom.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and then you look at the mirror.
Good.
And so a couple things. I was just gonna say, let's talk about Sabrina. We've talked about the show, the production, the storytelling.
Amazing.
Very, very, very smart. I was saying to Steven last night, it's been a minute since I went to somewhere and I felt like I went to an experience in a concert form.
Yep.
That is what she created. She created this whole vibe. It kind of transported you. And
No,
because
it was a show.
yes. And
I thought you could do this in Vegas for years.
I thought absolutely this would be something that you would, it's perfectly coded. It's, the costumes were excellent, the choreography. But now let's talk Sabrina. Because
but before we get into that, I will say the choreography was so good that you could just watch them instead of watching Sabrina. But the choreography was so good in that it didn't detract from Sabrina.
No,
like it was subtly happening, but was so good.
And the dancers, I mean, I recognized one of them immediately. I was like, no, I think that's a Kyle Hanagami dancer, someone who dances a lot in Kyle Hanagami music videos. And one thing you should know about Stephanie and I, we have loved choreography for years.
For years.
Like that is one of the, in the Venn diagram,
that was an
when our
friendship
was forming, and she came over and I was like, oh, we watched something on YouTube. And I said, wait, have you seen this? And she's like, have I seen this? I actually think it was him
videos,
by Kyle Hanagami, the choreography with the Sam Smith song. Yep. And then Adele's Love You in the Dark. We watch those and we send each other choreography multiple times a month.
Yeah, Kyle Hanagami, Gallum Hooks.
And even if it's anything that's online, we just see something fire. Gloves.
We did like Will DeBeast and then he kind of got canceled.
Yeah, well, rightfully so. But
yeah.
we, so the multiple times throughout the story, I think DV with his ex.
Oh.
Allegedly, just being careful.
Okay.
But Stephanie and I multiple times at the concert were like, the choreography, oh my gosh. Like to each other, we're like clunching onto each other. And Sabrina can dance it. Like, now obviously she's not as clean as the other ones because the dancers were amazing.
But because her job is to sing.
That's what I was saying. She was a front person, but she was slapping the choreography.
Yeah.
Now her pipes that I did not appreciate. I just think of her as like, please, please, please.
No, she can sing.
She has a voice that's really great.
She did like one ballad.
Yes.
And like
it was very much Beyonce like in Dreamgirls, where the curtain falls behind her and she's just like singing and almost to be like, and it was at the end of the set, end of the show too, which was kind of like, if you all thought that I was just like a 5-foot pint-sized powerhouse.
You know who else I felt like that about when I saw live? Lizzo. Lizzo's voice, you will not believe, because she talks a lot, she raps a lot, she like doesn't do like these belties in her song besides like in the background. Incredible vocalist.
We were talking about it before. We were kind of comparing Sabrina Carpenter to Lizzo. When Lizzo came on the scene, she'd really introduced a totally different flavor to the pop sound, with the flute, with the band, with the kind of the rap, the singing, the R&B, like a total unique perspective in the industry. Sabrina does that for me too. Like very, very. Also,
Chapel.
She's stunning. Sabrina Carpenter's face card does not decline.
My gosh. Half the time in the concert, the friends that we were with that were next to us, we were just like open mouth gaping. She is hot. She is so beautiful. Like my mouth was agape because they would zoom in on her and I was just like, oh my gosh. The like literal perfection. Also, do we think her hair is a wig?
Yeah. I'm sure it's not all her hair. She's so little and I just can't imagine. It's kind of like Dolly in a way.
I think that her hair is like that under it. Like I do think that she has that type of hair. Yeah. But it maintains perfection the entire time, which is why I have to say that it's a wig.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, Chapel Roan was wearing a wig last night for sure.
Yeah.
But not to take away from Sabrina, I also want to point out, wait, is Sabrina going to be nominated for New Artist? No, she wouldn't be eligible for New Artist.
Maybe I forget she would.
But she could be. The Grammy noms are this week. We're very, very excited. We are very excited because we have someone that is rumored that we know very, very, very well.
That you also know.
You also know, who looks like she could be nominated for a Grammy, and we are freaking out. They've flown her to New York. For the announcement is Friday. We'll see. If she's nominated, that very well could mean that my guy would be nominated too, which is like big deal. But Chapel Roan last night on SNL performs Pink Pony Club. First off, her vocals in a very, very, very unforgiving environment. Yeah. historically, I mean,
Yeah.
Ashley's, I mean, the historically nobody really sells at SNL. Soars, I mean, at SNL, and she soared, and then at one point she says, "Sing it," and the entire audience is singing "Pink Pony Club," which I don't think has ever happened on SNL before. I mean, if it has, I cannot think of a time when it's happened. I think she's a very, very, very exciting artist. I'm glad that she's kind of bouncing back after having had a rough summer, which would make sense because you don't go from obscurity to superstardom without having.
No,
Everything
Chapel
a little
Roan.
crazy.
We were talking about this before. I think Chapel Roan will be my top artist this year.
Yes.
Above Taylor. I have listened to Chapel Roan.
Oh,
like if I get in my car, that's who I turn on. I love her so much.
Agreed. Also, I don't know why it's just not popping up on my thing, so I'm gonna have to do it off of my.
Okay, you restart it.
Oh yeah, good call. Okay, we are doing. Let's give some advice to people in the news.
Yeah.
And the first people that we're giving advice to is this goes out to Gen Z. Okay.
Okay.
F around and find out if you're around the Kelsey brothers. Jason Kelsey was outside of a sporting event, and some fans, I think it was a sporting event, I could be wrong, but some fans were taunting him and holding a camera, and one fan in particular uses a gay slur, the F word, and like the long form of the F word, like the short form, okay, the long form is like accented, like when it ends with a T.
That was the biggest swear word in my house.
Oh my gosh, that
up.
just like it actually made my chest feel gross.
Yeah, no, that was like
someone
the swear
called,
word in my
how do you
house.
feel about Travis being a blank for dating Taylor Swift? And Jason Kelsey turned around, grabbed his phone, and smashed it on the floor.
Smashed it,
like
vaulted it.
He punished the phone.
He
put the phone in timeout,
picked it up
forever,
and then walked
away with it. Now,
TMZ.
Yes.
Posted a different video of Travis repeating it back to him, being like, "Who's the slur now?"
Yes.
I don't necessarily fault him at that. I don't think that he should have repeated it.
I agreed.
Because that's the problem.
That we're not loving all of that.
But the way I'm also more mad at TMZ because they were like, Jason Kelsey uses F slur, and it's like, oh wait, where's the context of this video?
Yes.
Should he have repeated it back? Absolutely not.
With that said, F around and find out. And someone commented, which I think is right, not so easy to throw those sorts of accusations in person that you must feel so comfortable throwing online.
No, we have gotten way too comfortable.
Everyone needs to calm the hell down. And we're not getting into, we have one other story that we're going to talk just for a second about. Yeah. But before we get there, we're not going to get into politics. Everybody should go vote, and then everybody should stop being assholes.
Oh my
Period.
Gosh.
And I'm so sick of people who get on their effing soapboxes, think that they figured the world out, want to be condescending, to throw down. I do not care who people are voting for. I do care if who you're voting for turns you into an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're voting on Tuesday, great. Please do. That's the American system. If you're eligible to vote, I'd love you to show an ID. But the reality is, if it's hurting your actual friendships, if you're willing to sacrifice a friendship in the name of a politician that you've never met, will never meet, like, move on. So I love a little F around and find out.
Yeah.
Because I think people need that more. The delicate flowers that are around now, where they want to throw things out, and then when you hold them accountable for a disgusting thing that you said, they want to cry foul or cry victim or cry whatever.
Yeah.
Bye. Deuce.
Yeah.
I'd smash that phone too.
I also think just like people have gotten way too comfortable with celebrities.
Yeah.
In what they will say to them, how they will approach them, how we will just like...
They're just entitled. They think, I've done this, or that you didn't really deserve to be a celebrity, or this is so disproportionate, and I'm glad, as someone who has been called a whole host of slurs in my life.
Yeah.
I would love to have people, and there have been, particularly my mom, who has been super defensive. If anybody ever said something like that around me or about me, I'm grateful for the people in my life that are like, I'll take that dang phone, smash that phone.
You know what?
Bring a lawsuit.
And it
I
really
do
does
not
say
care.
like how protective like
Brothers
Travis
are.
is of his, or Jason is of his brother Travis.
Yeah.
And just like also the rapport from the video is pretty much like, yeah, that kid deserved it.
Yep.
It's kind of like when Mike Tyson punched that guy in the airplane for harassing him, and Mike Tyson was like, people should get punched.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
People should get punched.
Yeah, like, if you're harassing me, you should get punched. Like, I don't.
Also, we haven't even really talked about how the world is going to end this week.
Why?
After the election. No matter who wins, no matter who the news or the media says wins, the world is going to end.
Why?
Well, I wanted to revisit you to like how unbelievably caustic this election has been. And that means no one who ever wins or loses.
I don't think it could get worse than January 6th.
I think we're going to have January 7th. Like, I think we're going to have, it's going to be 2.0.
Really?
Yes. I'm staying home. Like, I'll be in trial all week, so I will be staying home anyway.
I just don't think that, like, I just have such a high belief in people that can sometimes be proven wrong. I just am like,
I'd like to introduce you to a couple DMs I've received that could prove that wrong.
I just am like, no, people are rational and like understand that this is our system and this is how it works. If you're upset, then you should have done more to get people to vote. Like,
Yes.
like I don't, but again, I never would have thought the January 6th would have happened,
That's
period.
true.
So
True.
I don't know.
Let's, fingers crossed, everyone just be decent people. Speaking of unbelievably indecent people, we want to just quickly address this because we both have been approached and the pod has been approached multiple times for our take on this. We're not going to talk about P-diddy, the underlying allegations beyond. I mean, I know we kind of did the story
news,
about
like,
Costco.
that
We're not going to get
happened.
into the lawsuits. This is what we want to say. One, our hearts go out to the victims. And if you had any sort of involvement by even just attending the parties, if you were engaged in anything, if you didn't do anything wrong, but you were still in that area, I would love, particularly if you're right, if you've got that money, honey, then I would love there to be funds created for these victims to be able to help them get the mental health treatment, the physical treatment, the financial treatment that they need to be able to like heal.
Okay. While my point is actually going to backtrack on this, why do you think if it's all about PR for these other celebrities who have literally been photographed at these parties?
Yeah.
Speaking of, to what you said, like Ashton Kutcher been photographed with Diddy at the parties hundreds of times. If he is not guilty, why don't you think like a celebrity would like that be like, I have been at these parties, I never knew any of this was happening, but I have been there and I have been seen there. Here's a bunch of money to donate to X foundation, X charity, to like say, this is sick, it's abhorrent, I didn't know it was happening, and here's how much I'm willing to stake down on that claim? Or do you think it just makes them look more guilty? Because I feel like that would be a very easy way for me to say, like, or to look at you and be like, this might be an innocent person. Or do you think it makes them go, ooh,
I mean,
really
it's
trying.
different because, like, if they are named in it,
yeah, then it's like,
okay, great. Like, that's a little cover-uppy. That's a little
like,
whatever.
Are all of you a little bit guilty?
Well, and the part of it's like, okay, do I have to? If I was there, I think you should be like in the front line to be like, I had no idea that this was happening. I would give money anyway, because I would think that like a lot of those celebrities, they give money to different reliefs, to different funds, to different opportunities to give back or to do something generous or make a wish. Like there's a whole host of avenues in which celebrities can use their celebrity to help benefit.
Yeah.
I think you're right that it could get twisted to be like, you know, pays off, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think of like, this may not be a one-for-one comparison, but when Taylor Swift had given a bunch of money to the families whose kids were killed at that party, a Taylor Swift party, she obviously wasn't a part of it at all.
Yeah.
But she was like, hang on, I want to do something because I was connected to this. Not that it doesn't make it
Her
say
name
like,
was
yes,
attached.
you created, but she was attached to it. that's kind of where I was coming from
Yeah.
on that note. But I see what you're saying of
Yeah.
like, I think you'd have to be careful about that, which is maybe why no one's
Yeah.
doing anything right now.
Well-
And instead they're just endorsing a president so they can distract from the
Okay, so
controversy.
here comes to my point.
Wait, you do need to make this point because I told Steven your point last night.
Yes.
The one that you hope you're making now.
Yes.
And he was like, that's actually a really important point.
And I'll lead there by addressing Beyonce.
Yes.
So a ton of people, because everybody knows I do love Beyonce. I love her music. She's extremely talented, period.
She also, from everything that we've seen and understand about her, not everything, but the majority,
Would not have
she seems like a
participated.
very good person. She seems very family
And that is a
focused. She
parasocial
seems like,
relationship that,
yes,
like,
like we
we
understand that
believe,
we
we
don't know
hope.
her. She easily could be an antichrist. We don't know
Yes,
her.
yes, yes.
But from
So-
what we've been fed,
There's been like a TikTok, like rabbit hole, I guess, if you could say, talking about how Jay-Z is really close with P-diddy. Beyonce is obviously married to Jay-Z. Also, there's like this conspiracy theory that like people in the industry have to thank Beyonce to kind of pay their dues
yes,
in the music industry and like pretty much bow down to her so that they won't be blacklisted. First off, I do not think that is actually the case, although I do now think it's a funny bit
yes,
to like thank Beyonce. I just genuinely think that Beyonce set a track for a lot of female artists, and so they put some respect on her name. Like, I just think that that's how it is, period. But secondary to that, and this is like my main thing that I feel about the P. Diddy stuff in general. There's a lot of videos talking about like, oh, is this person involved? Oh, Usher. Oh, Justin Bieber. Like, here's the thing. Talking about all of these other things distracts from the like abhorrent, sick, demented, twisted, disgusting, vile things that P. Diddy has done. It has been reported that he has done. And we kind of talked about this last night, that like there's been rumors about P. Diddy for an extremely long time.
yes.
For those of us who are engaged in pop culture, these rumors have been around for a while. Similar to
shocking.
Epstein, similar to Dan Schneider of Nickelodeon, allegedly.
Of course.
These rumors have been around for a very long time. So they have been rumors up to this point. And now we are like, okay, Diddy did all of these things. But talking about everybody has to thank Beyonce, Jay-Z this, maybe he killed blah, blah, blah. Like, this person might be involved because they were in a photo with him. You are diluting what P. Diddy did when you put on your tinfoil hat and you talk about everybody else.
Yes, agreed.
It is similar to when everything happened with Epstein and all of these various flight logs were released and they all were false. And we literally canceled some celebrities because of them. And it dilutes what Epstein did. It dilutes what P. Diddy did and has done. And truly, I hope that if P. Diddy snitches and tells on a bunch of these celebrities, that like we know their names, that we know who they are, because if it turns out that there is
whoever
evidence
they are,
factually,
regardless of how much we may have loved them,
yes, factual evidence that shows that they participated and or were negligent in these situations, I'm done listening to their music. I have unsubscribed. They do not exist to me, because the things that are being reported that he has done are sick, evil, like
horrific,
like, and I actually think the people who are the most complicit were the people who were around Diddy regularly, who brought people to him, who facilitated these parties.
Ghislaine, how do you say her name? Maxwell?
Yeah, Ghislaine.
Ghislaine Maxwell. Like the Ghislaine
Those are the
Maxwells
sick
of it all.
people.
Those are not the...
Like,
and here's my thought, because I agree with you on the note of like, look, first off, disgusting.
yeah.
If the rumors take away from the tragedy of what actually transpired, not the rumors of what transpired.
Yeah.
But if the rumors become more of the story than
The
the
conspiracy
actual...
and the tinfoil hatting.
Yeah, if the conspiracy becomes more than the crime, we've messed up.
Yes.
And I get that the conspiracy maybe is a little bit more interesting, it's a little bit more headline grabby, but if the crime gets, kind of eclipsed by the conspiracies, that one may be the intention of the criminals. So
Yep.
I don't want to feed into it. Sorry. And two, it does distract from the tragedy of the actual victims. Because then it almost becomes, well, excuse me. Beyonce was the victim of this because she was wrongfully associated.
Yeah.
I want the victims to say exactly as they are, and not other people trying to.
Here's the other thing too, and this is not about Beyonce. Although, like, am I trying to defend her because I love her and I hope that she's not involved? Yes. Do you know how often, especially like I know you understand this as a divorce attorney, that your partner is doing something that they hide from you completely, and you have no idea that they're doing that? Like, how many times do you hear about somebody being blindsided by information like that? Like, to me, that is totally believable based on what I know about Beyonce's character, or what she has, programmed for me to know about her character. I think it is believable that she would have never been involved. But if she was, I will not listen to her music again.
Yeah, I feel like, hey, let's let the process surface the evidence, the actual evidence. To me, the actual evidence we have right now against P-diddy, the actual evidence is not, this is not a conspiracy. This is not innocent until proven guilty. The evidence for him thus far has proven him guilty. Yeah. Evidence has not amassed to accuse or to find the other people fully guilty.
The only other celebrity that has been listed is Cuba Gooding Jr. And
everybody knew.
I've known that.
Yes, that is an unfortunate, we knew.
Yeah. And truly, I think, like, we are not in the day and age where, like, what is done in the dark will never come to light. Like, I do believe, especially given that, like, there is allegedly so much video footage of things that happened because he would use that footage to blackmail people, that, like, I do believe that there probably will be a point in time where a lot of names come out. Yep. And guess what? You have to stop watching your favorite movies. Like,
done.
Like, that's just what the cases had to be. I think another, like, interesting and not, like, totally fair point of view is, like, the cost of fame. Yep. Like, I think that there is what, like, people say, like, a price that people pay, but this should never be the price.
No. And the problem is that a lot of the times we're looking at people who are in socioeconomic, statuses that are really desperate, or, actors they want so badly. They've left from a small town to try to make it up in Hollywood. And then if they're being told this is what you have to do to become famous, and you're being told by someone who's famous that this is what you have to do, and you just want it so badly, and you don't really know, you're 20, you're 18, you could be Justin Bieber's age. Like, it's so much, no facts exist in a vacuum. And so I'm careful to throw too much too many stones, but I will stone the hell out of P-diddy. Yeah. And
when
Cuba.
You read and listen to some of, like, the news stories that will come out of like another person said X, like, it's actually sickening. It makes your stomach turn. It is gross. And, like, that is period what people should be focusing on in, like, instead of the, like, oh, but Ashton Kutcher has been pictured at all of these parties, or, like, I think both presidential candidates have had photos come out of them standing next to P-diddy, and I'm like, you guys, like,
if you're looking for something, you'll probably find it.
Yeah, it, like, those types of things to me, I'm like, boop, boop. Listen, outside of this, totally, I think you are the company that you keep.
Yes,
but, like, with celebrities, that is not really the case.
Because they don't actually think their company they're keeping, their company that they're having to be around. That's a little different. Okay, let's switch because we don't want to be too long of an episode. We have other stories we have to get to, but we did just want to speak on that because we were asked to, and we wanted to make it clear that that was where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay. Our next people that we're giving advice to, this is kind of general advice, and I have an example for why this is the advice. You be nice, even if you're kind of uggo.
Oh.
Because Giselle is pregnant with baby number 3, Giselle Bundchen, supermodel of the world. Look how ugly, not ugly,
I just
but
got
like
so much whiplash.
her baby daddy.
I don't think he's ugly.
But he's not.
Personality matters.
No, that's what I'm saying. Oh, no, sweetie. I'm saying if you got a good personality, but your face is a little
ugly.
bit.
Wait, let me see the photo of him.
Ugly, but he's not. That's not. I mean, Tom Brady is a much more attractive man.
Conventionally attractive, yes, but I think he is really handsome.
And I have to imagine this is a very nice, likable guy because Giselle Bundchen.
Find another photo of him.
Because Giselle could really have anybody.
Anyone she wanted.
It's literally like the most eligible bachelorette. She's very
personable. She doesn't give me like warm.
Oh, that's true.
She is a ice blue. She is not a yellow or an orange.
Honey, I'm trying to find a hot picture of him, and
the limit does not exist.
The photos are, I mean, a lot of him in jiu-jitsu clothes, because that's how they met. It's just like, here she is on a paddleboard, like abs of steel, and then here's him similarly, but he just doesn't give off like handsome daddy vibes.
I think there is like a trend in Hollywood of women who want to like date a normal man.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm not being critical of him. It's maybe coming across like I'm being critical because I'm saying it's not very attractive.
Well, it's like, I think like for women specifically, I think there is something like so attractive about knowing that your man can protect you.
Yes.
And if your man is like a jiu-jitsu black belt, he can take down anyone.
Bring him to an exchange with Tom Brady.
Like Lana Del Rey, her alligator wrangler. I mean, I'm thinking
that was
like
also one of our Halloween
tours.
costume ideas. She was giving me Lana Del Rey, and I was going to be an alligator.
No, I thought you should be Steve Irwin.
I know, but then I said, no, sweetie, that we should stay on the theme of
I know,
her
but
and her
that's still
husband.
the theme because he was an alligator like
Wrangler, a wrestler, yes.
But like, if somebody is like okay being around alligators all the time, like that man can protect me.
Agreed. But this is just a plea to people. Hey, be kind. It could land you a supermodel.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is funny because I'm basically saying be kind, parentheses, don't worry about how you look, and parentheses, and then guess what you could get? Someone who's basically famous for their looks.
Yeah.
I hear the mixed messaging. I still want you guys to be kind.
No, I think it's more a lesson in like, be true to yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Be true to yourself. We'll go with that. I love that. Okay. Some of the best Halloween celebrity costumes.
Oh, yes.
Heidi Klum as E.T. You know, she is the queen of Halloween. If Mariah Carey is the queen of Christmas, Heidi Klum is the queen of Halloween. She went as E.T. The costume is out of this world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is, you may say, extraterrestrial because she's phenomenal.
Okay. Here is my biggest advice for Halloween.
If you're celebrity or generally?
Celebrity.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe even generally, because I've seen some people do this. If you are being a Halloween character just for the picture that you were going to post, like Kylie Jenner was Demi Moore striptease.
Or Jessica Rabbit. Cardi B was Jessica Rabbit.
Okay, but not even just that, because you are dressing up as like a character for that. But to just take the photo and be like, I was Demi Moore for Halloween. I'm like, girl, you're naked cross-legged. Yeah. Like, you weren't that for Halloween.
Right. That was a photo shoot because you wanted social media content.
It is very much to me like a touch grass moment.
Yeah.
Kim K dressed up as like an albino lizard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and mostly for a photo shoot, she didn't like walk out. Like, I'm like, please touch grass.
Right.
Like, whatever happened to a kitty cat?
Right. But let's go over some of the other ones that were great. Our girl Sabrina Carpenter did go as Lizzie McGuire from the Lizzie McGuire movie. Iconic. Unbelievable. She was so good.
Yeah.
Okay, Lupita Nyong'o went as Storm. Okay.
That was a good one.
Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard went as Ron Burgundy and Champ Kid from Anchorman. And they also had Anna Kendrick was a part of their like little clique, which I saw, which was really fun. There's always Mean Girls costumes, and that was Camila Cabello.
Megan
as
Fox
Regina.
went as Padma, and that was a good one.
Oh yes. Rita Ora and I never had to say to
How do you spell it?
Waititi.
Taika
Waititi, right? That's how you say his name?
Taika Waititi.
When as Zorro and
good one. Let me see that one.
They looked great.
That is a good one.
She looks good in black hair.
Yeah.
I love also just kind of being like, oh, interesting. That was like some of them are like Rebel Wilson and her new wife went as cowgirls, and it just was super basic. Like you're an A-list celebrity.
But even that, I'm like, please do something like that versus just like taking like dressing up to be like so crazy. But I will say, like, as a celebrity, use your funds to like get a costume.
That's what I'm saying. I want like look how good Gwen Stefani looks as Snow White.
Oh yeah,
that's
see
like
that.
she had someone make an actual outfit
Please
for her.
do something like that. But the just like I dressed up like this so I could take a photo and put it on my Instagram. But like, if I don't see you at a party in that, then to me you are a poser.
Yeah, you are trying to do too much.
You are a poser.
Okay, we have to end with two. Well, no, we have 3 stories left.
Okay.
But they're going to be quick because 2 of them are related. One of them is Timothee Chalamet entered in his own Timothee Chalamet look-alike contest.
No, he didn't enter. He showed up.
He showed up, but I like saying he entered because it's actually really funny.
There was a Timothee Chalamet look-alike contest in New York City. Hundreds of
people that looked, and it is that vibe. It's so funny to me, and this is why this kind of actually goes back. We should call the episode Know Thyself because that is kind of our advice that we kept coming back to.
No notes.
Because last night we're at the concert and we were talking about how good, like we were saying, oh yeah, any notes for him as in like feedback for the Declan. And so I said, yep, no notes. He knows no notes because he was playing songs that really just had like 3 notes in them
just like 3 chords.
over and over again. And Stephanie and I were laughing at that like little like dad joke. Oh, he knows notes.
So
we thought
funny.
we were so funny. That wouldn't have really landed, but we just needed to put it back here.
Yeah.
I just love that he is someone who's not conventionally very attractive. He's he's not very. And I don't.
Odd features.
He doesn't have like. He's not like jacked, right? He's not Chris Evans in Captain America.
Ooh,
he's the before of Chris Evans in Captain America.
Yeah, true.
And they end up having a full lookalike contest, which is so fun. And then for him to go, I think it's everything. Know thyself.
Yeah.
Like that is what he's doing and leaning into it opposed to like being offended. I mean, like these skinny, wiry, black-haired, stringy
it's so funny
kids.
that he went.
Like he went and he wasn't like embarrassed about it. He just owned it.
No, he like posed with all of them.
Yes.
It was so funny.
Now, the other 2 kind of like we have animal-related stories, which people typically love our animal stories. And we brought 2 great animal stories. The first one, Dad, if you're listening, turn it off because his number 1 fear are bats. But the bat that won the Thursday annual Bat Beauty Contest put on by the Bureau of Land Management. What I will say is what I would like maybe at the elections, we're not picking political candidates. We should pick things like, should the Bureau of Land Management continue to use taxpayer dollars to put on a bat beauty contest?
Absolutely.
Yes or no? Let's just see I want to know, because I didn't know this existed.
How are we supposed to be entertained by the government, you know?
Well, I don't know if that's their role, but
it is for me. Haven't you seen Parks and Rec?
True. This, on Halloween, which was the last day of International Bat Week, a hoary, Hoary, bat with a feisty personality named Harry Potter defeated Lestat, the western small-footed bat from Idaho, in the final round of the contest, and also bested a Townsend big-eared bat named Sir Flapsalot from Utah, who got third. So here's Harry Potter.
Oh,
Hoary bat.
Cute. He kind of has a human face.
No, he has a straight up face that looks like a bat. I don't know any humans that look like that.
No,
unless
he has a human face.
Unless that's a Halloween costume.
He has like old man eyebrows.
But I cannot believe that we have. So we actually have very different takes, because you're saying we should be spending money on this, and I'm saying if the community wants to do that, great. But the Bureau
Chase,
of Land Management,
we
paid for this.
look to a groundhog to see when spring is starting.
Okay, that's different.
We've been doing this. We have been wasting government funds for
but not on bats.
years. This is.
Also, is there like here's what if you're listening, if you work for the Bureau of Land Management, can you let me know of all of the animal handsome contests you have, beauty pageants you have for all animals?
Isn't there a bear one too? I don't know if they run that one though.
Who knows what they're really doing? I didn't know they ran a bat one until I looked up this
They're
story.
just trying to get you interested in animals, and guess what? It worked.
Yeah, no, literally, I'm kind of like, it's a hoary bat. You know, Google my search is like.
Did you know bats eat mosquitoes?
No, because my dad's number one fear are bats, and so growing up, we just sort of thought of them as like.
I learned this at the farm that I went to in Sonora. They have a bat box in their barn because mosquitoes have West Nile virus. West Nile virus will kill a horse. Like, it will take down a horse.
My brother got West Nile virus.
What?
I'm pretty sure Pierce got. Krista, if you're listening, let me know. Did Pierce get West Nile, or did he get, what's the other one? Zika or yellow something?
I don't know.
Okay.
But they have a bunch of bats, and they keep them on the property because they kill mosquitoes. And mosquitoes will kill horses if they carry West Nile. The more you know.
Now,
so I am pro bat because I am anti-mosquito.
Yeah, I'm anti-mosquito too. I didn't realize that are there other things that kill? There has to be other things that kill mosquitoes besides bats.
I don't know, but bats like to eat them, so I'm pro bat.
He
did say they come out all at once, and it's like a black blanket comes over the sky.
Bats are gross. Oh, jeez. Well, okay, but you know what's not gross? Well, what is gross, what happened, but not gross as the animal, is Peanut the squirrel. Now, I tried telling Stephanie, I put this story in, and I had explained to you, I gave you the recap, and I'm sad I didn't give it on camera, because when I tell you guys,
horrified.
Her mouth hit the floor. I'm barely exaggerating.
Yeah.
So a New York man named Mark Longo. Mark Longo.
Fantastic.
Who moved from New York to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Befriended a squirrel, named him Peanut.
As we all do.
P-N-U-T, P''N-U-T,
Yeah.
Peanut.
As one does.
He becomes TikTok social media famous, hundreds of thousands of followers. And then the Department of Environmental Conservation, really the government is just like they're on my S list this week, looks like. But the Department of Environmental Conservation shows up to his home near the Pennsylvania border. So maybe it was in New York bordering Pennsylvania. Yeah. And they raided his house without a search warrant to find the squirrel. Okay. Mark says, quote, "I was treated as if I was a drug dealer, and they were going for drugs and guns." The officer left with Peanut, who had amassed hundreds of thousands of followers, and Fred, a raccoon that had also joined the Longo home. Okay. Now, why is this so sad?
Raccoons are creepy cats.
Because I know, but have you also seen sometimes when they grab like a finger and they want to hold your hand when you're walking?
They're so cute, but they're creepy cats.
They're so creepy, but they also will
they have hands.
gnaw off a finger. They
act like cats, but they have hands.
And I love when they like delicately do something and then they like pull it. I'm like, oh no, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
That's kind of them. Anyway, the Department of, what did I say it was? The Department of Environmental Conservation.
Is just a big rat.
They put them down though. They euthanized them. Yep, they euthanized Gary, was it?
Gary and Peanut.
Or no, Fred. Sorry, Fred.
Which kind of is like environmental conservation. What?
I feel like we weren't conservating anything.
Yeah, I feel like you really didn't try to.
I feel like you missed the role. Somehow you got the handbook in reverse.
And you put down a beloved squirrel.
Squirrel and a raccoon. All because you thought that they may have and be able to contract rabies.
Can't you just
Here's my thing. Can the government
rabies?
Can the government please just let us have pet squirrels?
Let me
live with my pet raccoon. You know what I mean?
I don't want a pet raccoon.
Well, I'm just saying, if you wanted one,
It's
you
just
should
like
be allowed.
The fact that they can hold things like humans. It's so
I know, but when they go like,
and
and then they look up at you, their little beady eyes. But then what's spooky about raccoons is if you see them in the wild, you're like, oh, like it actually kind of jumps me. Actually, kind of tingled my spine.
No, because wild raccoons are scary.
Yeah, wild raccoons are nuts.
Yeah.
Domesticated raccoons, kind of cute.
Kind of creepy. Kind of weird that they
like
can
fun.
hold things. Like they could hold a phone. That's
Yes. So please just, if you guys
take care of your raccoons,
take care
and
of your squirrels.
Take care of your local squirrels.
It does seem like
they killing
there should have
everybody
been
out
due
here.
process for him to have the squirrel.
No,
like
that's what I'm
you
saying,
should have
is,
just like
can't
come
you
into a
just
house.
Vaccinate a squirrel.
Yeah, but also you can't just like come into a house and take an animal without a warrant.
Sorry, vaccines. Ooh,
Yeah,
trigger warning.
On an election week? Wow. And here we thought we weren't being political. This is not a political podcast.
Not me, like, say, vaccinate your squirrels.
And then being like, sorry.
I think we all can agree that's not a political take. We should vaccinate your squirrels.
Yeah, so that they don't give you rabies, so that you can have pet squirrels. Think about Peanut. Do it for Peanut.
Do you know how awful it is to get a rabies shot?
Do you?
No.
Okay. No, seriously, do you know? Because we'd love to know.
I've heard that the needle is this big. Chase would hate it.
Oh.
They actually have to inject it through your leg until it comes out the other side.
And then they squirt it, and then they say, you got it, vaccine. I'm like, that's what I thought.
Misinformation podcast.
That is us all day, every day.
Good, bad misinformation. Rebrand.
Season
maybe
2.
That should be the name
Misinformation.
Of the podcast.
Misinformation. Magic. We're like, well, I have to work, unfortunately.
We missed you.
We've missed you guys. Thank you for listening. Please follow us on all social media accounts, the Good Bad Advice Podcast. Or I think it's just Good Bad Advice Podcast. It's been that long since we posted. We're back on. Please show us some love. Share little clips. Oh, also, before I forget, we do still have about 10 tickets if you want to join the podcast Wicked show Thursday, the 26th at 6. No, honey. You can't tell them that you're not going to be there, or else people aren't going to just come for me, and then I'm going to feel sad about it.
No, they will. And we literally did tell them I can't be there.
Already?
Yeah, already.
Oh, okay.
It just was so long ago.
It was literally a month and a half ago.
We're so sorry.
Please plan on... just reach out to me if you want those tickets if you're in the Salt Lake Valley. We're really excited. I have already had like 16 or 18 or so people tickets given out. We still have about 10 or so left for the little theater. So we're really excited. Message us, follow, like, and subscribe, and just be kind. Know thyself. Yeah. That will be our episode title.
And go vote. Love you.
Go vote. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have you already voted?
Yeah.
Did you do mail-in?
Mail-in ballot.
Yeah, I didn't do that. But I'm going in on Tuesday.
Oh, stand in line. Spooky.